Hello, everybody. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest to high schoolers. And today I'm going to tell you how I did a few of my El Dia de los Muertos lectures. I have more than one, obviously. This one took a class period. We are on block schedules. So some of our classes are an hour and 20 minutes long, and it took an hour and 20 minutes. So again, as I use Minecraft as a tool, let me remind you, the goal is not to use Minecraft. The goal is to use language, and Minecraft is just a way to apply it. And I remind my students constantly, if you're not speaking in the target language, then we'll just stop the activity and we'll do something else. I have a million different tricks to get you to speak in the target language. If this one isn't working, we'll just pivot to another one. I've never had a student not try to use language, though, when doing Minecraft, because it's so much fun. Of course, they want to stay doing Minecraft. They're not going to blow it. So again, I have a whole other video about how to set the students up for success in Minecraft, because they're going to need to be able to talk about Minecraft in order to have a conversation while they're playing Minecraft. So the first thing I did, this particular class was in two parts. Now the first part is, there is this really wonderful little Latin Explorers thing here. I've highlighted Latin Explorers 2 here, which is also good. Latin Explorers right here. Now the question came up because Susie and Aro were in my room watching my students, and they said, why didn't you just send your students right to here? And I said, because they'd get lost. There's so much cool stuff here. There's so much to look at. They'd click on the wrong thing. So instead, I took that world, I downloaded it, and then this is the disappointing thing about this. Let me back up so you can see this again. This is a one-person game, and I really like the fact that Minecraft can be more than one person, because language is all about communication, right? But this game, I thought, had a lot of good stuff in it, so I decided to go ahead and try it as a one-person thing. And it worked pretty well. But I took the file and I embedded it in, we're Microsoft School District. And we use Microsoft Teams in lieu of an actual learning management system. So I just took that Latin Explorers and I embedded it into Microsoft Teams so that the students could get to it quickly and easily, and they wouldn't get lost. And still, even though I gave directions, go on the left-hand side, and I'd been giving directions as we set up for this for 2 weeks, I still had 3 students not follow directions because, see, they're students, you know, you got to expect that. So about a week before we were ready to do this on Minecraft, as I'm setting my students up for success, I took a bunch of screenshots of what I wanted them to do in Latin Explorers, and I made a big book with those screenshots. Okay, we're only 6 weeks into the school year. When we started working on El Dia de los Muertos, it's 5 weeks into the school year, and my Spanish 1 students simply don't have enough Spanish to do this in high immersion things. So I decided I'm going to leave it in English. Also, I didn't quite understand how to change it into Spanish anyway, but I decided I'll just shelter the language for them. I'll give them some words, but because I really want them to understand the cultural significance of everything, I'll leave this part in English and we'll shelter the language. Okay? So, took a bunch of screenshots. They already knew the word siguen Antonio. Okay? Follow Antonio. Antonio es rápido. They knew what that was. And then I said like a million times, vamos a la izquierda. Okay, and I'm at the front of the classroom. I'm holding up my left hand, holding la derecha, holding up my right hand. No, vamos a la derecha, vamos a la izquierda. And I have all the students copy me and everything for like a week beforehand. And still I had 3 students mess it up on the big day. Okay, but at any rate, I show them I want them to take the left path. These other 2 paths are good too, but they don't have anything to do with El Dia de los Muertos, and I really wanted to focus on El Dia de los Muertos, okay? So I just follow the left path. Aquí. Okay, and I want them to push the button there, and then they're going to go talk to this guy, and they're going to talk about las mariposas. So I have a close-up of that to show them. And we talked about, they figured out pretty quickly the word monarcas must be monarch. And we looked at how, I keep going too fast. We looked at how monarcas matches mariposas, because adjectives have to match nouns and everything. So it was good to do it this way. And I pointed out that we were in Michoacan, and we actually have a lot of families in our area from Michoacan. They always like for me to sing them Caminos de Michoacan to them. So that was good. And we talked about when it falls, and we talked about the autumnal equinox and the midway between the autumnal equinox and the vernal equinox, and how often there's celebrations all throughout the world at that time. And then we started talking about ofrendas. And we're just now working on this sentence construction, the gustar, okay? Le gusta, le gustan. And that's why I thought this would be a really good tie-in to use that, okay? So I took a bunch of screenshots of the city, and the city is really pretty, like very nicely designed and everything. And talked about why the monarchs are important, so I gave them more words. Okay, so at this point they know muertos, but they don't know almas. Okay, so we talked about an alma mater, and yeah, I have my little picture from Tears of the Kingdom here, so they recognized that was a spirit. We talked about the colors, and I put this picture back in so we could talk about the colors. And then go talk to the family, okay? And then I have a little picture of the ofrenda and what does it have, and I have a bunch of words that I would just, bring up to show them, okay, that's what this is. They can't really see it on that, though. But just to get them used to that vocabulario. This one, you can see I had to start drawing on the board. Es mi marido. And I had to explain, our kids so that they could figure out, la hija was daughter. Because I don't speak at all English. I'm just talking in Espanol. And I covered up. Let's see, can I move it? Yeah, I covered that up. Okay. And then, this was really great. They just learned the word ver, and so they were able to figure out, because they know puedo ir al baño, and so they were able to figure out that the dead can't see at night, and that's why we need, and they had just learned 2 screens earlier, the word for candles, las velas, and they were really excited when they figured out what that sentence meant. Here's unas velas. And then we talked about how the monarch butterflies need water. And this papel picado I really loved, because they got excited when I said we're going to make that next week. And I like how these people are animated to dance. It's so cute. Okay, so you fill the jug with water, and then you go back. And then you put the water in there. Okay, so there's lots of stuff to do in this little city. Cempasúchiles we talked about. And they went and they got their marigolds, and they put them on the ofrenda. All right, and then we said talk to the other people, and the other people talk about that it's not like Halloween. It's a fun holiday. Death and life go together. It's not Halloween. It comes from the Aztecs. And then they get to look at the butterflies. And as soon as they were done looking at the butterflies, then 2 weeks ahead, I asked each of my classes, I have 2 Spanish classes this year, I asked both of them, choose your favorite dead person, real or fictitious, okay? One class chose Queen Elizabeth. Let me find that. There we go. Okay, so one class chose Queen Elizabeth, so I ran home and I made a big book about everything that Queen Elizabeth likes and doesn't like, okay? All right, so, she likes horses, she likes her dogs, she likes the Sea Rangers, she likes cars, she likes her husband, so I just went through everything that she could possibly like. She likes hats, she likes coats, she doesn't like newspapers because I wanted to introduce the negative, right? Okay, so they had Queen Elizabeth, and that was great. The second class really threw me for a loop, and I had to think, do I want to go with this? Because they really were so excited about their favorite dead person. And I decided, you know what? They're engaged. They really love it. Who am I to say no? I've got them on the hook. I want to roll with it. And so, yes, they chose Walter White. Okay, so we went through Walter White. He likes pizza. He likes chicken. He likes popcorn because there's those commercials now. He likes science. And this was great because they didn't recognize the word ciencia. And so I said, okay, what does it sound like? And they figured out from the sound. They figured out química must be chemistry. And they feel such a puzzle solving pride in themselves when they do that. He likes his son. And they were excited about this too because I'm using a crutch right now because I broke my leg a few months ago. He likes his friend. He likes his camper. Oh, they were so thrilled to see the word camper. He likes to cook his breakfast. He likes expensive cars. And I gave them the word. We worked on our arre sound here. Los carros, carros. That was great. He doesn't like these people. And then this is all we're going to talk about, guys. We're not talking about anything else. He's dead. Okay. So on the big day, I gave them a sheet of paper. And as always, I say, okay, tell me if you're ready or not for this. And I push them because they're first year Spanish students. They're not ready to speak in Spanish the entire hour and 20 minutes of class because we have block days in my school. So I tell them, okay, 5 minutes. I'm only asking you to speak in Spanish for 5 minutes. And then you get to speak in English for 5 minutes, and then back in Spanish for 5 minutes. And I always have a metacognition thing at the first question. That's to get their buy-in. That's totally to get their buy-in and for them to feel ownership of it. And then we have a living word bank, organic word bank, where the students can ask me, how do you say whatever? And I'll tell them, and they can write down whatever words they think they're going to need to be successful. We've been talking about El Día de los Muertos for 2 weeks now. So we played a blue kit game. We read another story. We're going to have more stuff, but I had them like information dump any words you can remember there. I don't know why I have a screenshot of that there, but it's okay. All right. And then, hey, your class is chosen. This person as your famous dead person. Here's your sentence frame. Always give them sentence frames. The students that are high flyers aren't even going to glance at it. The students that need it, they've got it as scaffolding. It's not a problem. Okay. And then I remind them that it's a backward sentence construction. A couple of things that she likes from the story we read. Now write the whole sentence. Don't just fill that in. I want them, the more they write, the more they remember. Okay, that's been proven time and again, multiple research projects. If you can handwrite it, you'll remember it much better. Okay, and then when they were done with that izquierda, that left-hand side of Latin Explorers, then I sent them to a world that I had already opened, and so the join code was on the board. That was a giant ofrenda that I made, and they could build whatever the dead person likes. Okay, and so they had to put up a sign, like a sign or a board saying, first of all, their name, so I could identify who did what, and secondly, they had to say what that person likes, and I'll show you in a second. Then I wanted them just to tell me if they chose red or orange, just so I could find them quicker, and also so they could practice these colors words, right? And then basically I want them to identify that El Día de los Muertos is not Halloween. It's not Mexican Halloween. And I want them to tell me why. You cannot divorce culture from language. So here's just a couple of scenes from Queen Elizabeth's thing. Lots of people made little dogs for her, which is really sweet. Here's a car, and you see there's a little sign right here, right in front. They had to write "Me llamo," my name is, and then they had to write Queen Elizabeth le gusta blah blah blah. I like this was a Sea Ranger thing. I thought that turned out really well, so that was cool. And then the Walter White thing, and you should know that I had this moment of, oh no, what have I done? Because it turns out I had an administrator in my room while I was showing them, okay, you guys chose Walter White. Here's your story about Walter White. And I was thinking, oh, this is it. I'm going to get in trouble. But, you know, the administrator was so great about it all. And she said later, she was like, the students were whispering, this is the best class ever. And you got them engaged. Don't throw that away. Look at how many pizzas. They all made pizzas. And this one I thought was the best. This was like magma cube. And these are trapdoors. It looked great. This was great. Look, here's another pizza. This was a camper. And here I made it small so that you can't see the student's name. But it said, Me llamo, blah, blah, blah. All Walter White, le gusta el camper. So that was all absolutely fabulous. So if you want to help me do wacky stuff like this, please ping me on studio-nemo.com. Find me at the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, and I also hang out at the Duolingo Educators Network. I will have uploaded this hopefully soon to the Minecraft Education site in case you want to do anything like this, or just use my giant ofrendas for whatever else you want. So hope to see you there.